Hello guys, and welcome to the Corswain deck update, and plus we will see some replays together. So I finally got my Ramiel out of um, an event crate, has 12 wins, and by the way playing Corswain, funnily enough. And I think that this card now dictates a change in the deck, also because meta has changed. Knights are way less popular, and so I think that the deck itself needs to be arranged a bit. So this is the deck I made for Corswain today. We have the Warlord, high initiative, Duelist Triumph, boosts itself for +1/+0 at the cost of 2 energy. Really strong Warlord, especially in the late game and in the early game, because it can remove problematic troops from the other side of the board, like the 4 energy guy from Space Wolves that make you lose the match. I don't actually remember the name. Oh, Aldan Bailey. You can remove that, no problem, with Duelist Triumph plus Hero Power once. Then, what has changed from the previous iteration? We fit in Ramiel. We also took out the command bridge, because we are playing less tactics. We are playing only one Lexicon of Glory, and I tried one Deathwing Protocol, and we do not play Orders of Terra anymore. We play one less Brother in Arms, and we play an Anthem down. And now let's go into the troop component. We have double Legionary Boreal, very strong card. If buffed is amazing. We have Captain Astoric, draws you troops and is a choo-choo, and if buffed this can become pretty good for the cost. We have Operator the Cur, best to drop in the game, very strong, and can snowball you the game. Hydravein Morse, a little bit of healing. Frontline, if buffed, this become really strong, also because heals you for more. So it's a strong option both in early game and in the late game. Pelagor Marner is one of the best legendaries for Dark Angels, and you need to have this. It buffs one of your wings. Mostly in this particular deck we are buffing Ravenwing, because we want sick Legionary Boreals. We also play 2 Onyx Sabers, and Captain Astoric. We play also 1 Seraphus Pike and double Speeder. So we have a shit ton of Ravenwing that buffed with Pelagor actually become way stronger than they usually are. We have 1 Prisoner Custody. I included this because it's an overall good card, and also in some matches you completely destroy your opponent by playing this. Is Raphael is a must. You cannot play the deck without this card. Is incredibly strong. Can make you snowball very hard. This deck is all about snowball. If you cannot snowball, it's actually pretty easy to handle, and it's a key for playing against Corswain. We have double Swift Wrath Speeder. Instead of 1 Lexicon, I put in the Speeder. This because creature based decks are becoming more popular since Knights dropped, and this actually can control the board better than Lexicon of Glory, especially because command protocols can give ward, and if you are stuck with 1 Lexicon of Glory in hand, you might not be able to remove the piece in that has been buffed. So double speeder is very nice. The Astrovel needs no explanation. It's probably the core card of the deck, coupled with this Raphael. We have Ramiel, great removal tool, beefy body. It's a Deathwing. You can tutor it with Brother in Arms. It's very, very good. Probably, if not the best legendaries the Dark Angels have, it's pretty close. You should buy this card if when it comes to the shop. I didn't do that because I had no gems and I had the luck to find it. So if this comes to the shop, buy it, you won't regret it. Then we have Dreadwing Proctor. Since I removed why Dreadwing Proctor? Before I had the Eschaton Imperative. This has been nerfed pretty heavily. Now for each unit killed, it lowered the cost of a troop in your hand by 1 instead of all the troops in your hand. So it's incredibly hard nerf for this kind of build, since you cannot lose your entire turn in order to deal 2 damage to the enemy board. You can actually play Dreadwing Proctor. If this connects, it actually deals 2 damage to all enemy units. It might be better to play still one Eschaton Imperative if you see a lot of Defenders of Caliban. Otherwise, I think Proctor is just better. Also, the Dreadwing helps activating Onyx Saber, and also it's very, very good from a stat line point of view for 5 energy, considering also the quest. We have double Onyx Saber. Since knights are no longer a problem, this before suffered, in my opinion, from the 5 health, and also you almost never had what is called the Dreadwing on the board. So this was often a 7/5 that is immediately dead for 6 energy, that dealt 2 damage. Now since Doombringer are a lot more popular, if you have maybe an Astrovel that survived, you can bring down the Onyx Saber and actually kill the Doombringer straight up and leave a 7/5 body on the board. Also, if this gets buffed by Pelagor Marner, it's an 8/6 and actually can take down Hydras with a single attack. We have Oathsworn Terminators, one of. I cut one since they could stop knights from rushing at you with the Maccabeus house. Now I think that front lines you're already play enough with 4. The 5th is not required, and I prefer a little bit of burst. Then we have Deathwing Protocol. This card helps you remove enemy troops that are particularly difficult to deal with, and boosts your end, but almost the second part of the card is almost non-existent, because you play it in the late game and you won't have that many troops to buff. And we have Deathwing Companions, the snowball card of the deck. If you can drop this early, the opponent just loses the game, because the raw amount of stat line you put on the board is disgusting. And let's go into some matches. Honorable mentions, I think, for this deck are Storm Eagle's Strike. This it's good, but I couldn't find a slot for it. Also, 2 energy competes with our curve a bit. It's good if you have Drilling Sight in hand, but I finally think that this can go out. Mordwen Squad is good, but needs to be buffed very, very hard, and maybe with double Anthem down you could play Mordwen, but I actually think that playing with overall better cards, it's a more effective way of increasing your rank. We also have Principia Bellicosa as a very snowbally card, and this can be good. In my opinion, it kinda falls off a bit. You are not likely to have very big boards with this kind of deck, at least from my experience in top 50. It's true that if you have double Boreal and that maybe has been buffed from Astrovel and you play this and double Boreal, you can actually win the game just by doing that. And actually one of my games today has been lost because of this, against an enemy Corswain that just putted me yeah, I was going first, so counter attack Astrovel, turn after double Boreal plus Principia Bellicosa, and I lost the game there because but what are the chances of doing that? I don't think that they are really high. I played with one Principia for a while. I kind of not find it that useful. Also, it doesn't do anything that your other cards actually already do. Like Astrovel is already buffing your cards, of the Cure is buffing your cards, Companions is buffing your cards, Deathwing Protocol is buffing your cards. I mean, you don't really need this. You need to establish the board and then kill your opponent with the established board that you have. But I could argue that this can lead to incredibly strong snowballs and may feel overpowered, but I just find it too inconsistent. I saw also played Unbroken Woe. For me this card is way too slow. You could play Training Cage for one less energy, and actually this conflicts with turn 4 is Raphael and turn 4 Astrovel with counter attack. So I don't think that this card is actually playable in Corswain. Maybe in Lion, but even there is like a bit too pricey. For 3 energy though would be far too good. So it's maybe an event card more than anything else. Also, I saw played Namat Terminators instead of Oathsworn. I do think that the 6 energy place it's fine between Oathsworn and Onyx Saber. You could play Namat, but they conflict a bit with Astrovel and Ramiel. Also, I do think that having a 4-6 with the first strike, it's better than having a 4-5 that actually can heal to if conditions are met. So that's why I do not play the Terminators. Let's go into some games. I had a pretty good win streak. This was ladder. I have maybe 2 defeats and 1 draw. Yes, 2 defeats and 1 draw. So let's go into some games. I do think that we could start with this. So this was an interesting game and shows you the snowball potential of this deck, and in particular of Israfel. We ditch both Wrath Speeder and Boreal. We ditch Speeder because he isn't likely to play a lot of creature, and we ditch the 1-1 because we have no way to buff it, but we have double Israfel, so that's nice. We can play Astoric and pass. I thought that he was an Exodus, so I don't actually like to trade even with Exodus in health. He transformed into Alpharius, and now I can start pushing because Alpharius has less ways of doing damage to me. He played Malkial. this card can make him snowball, so I played Pelagor, buffed Ravenwing, because we have a lot of Ravenwings and we do not actually need that much of a front line at the moment. I dealt 2 to Malkiel because I want this to be dead. Now he draws, and I think that it would have been better to just attack the Astoric and play the Asteroids. And now I can trade my 2-1 for Malkiel, plays Raphael and deal 3 to his face, +2 with Corswain. Now we have the thing we kind of looked for. If this is not stunned, we can actually reduce Deathwing Companions by 2, and we can play Astrovel. Now, I saw that a lot of people actually do this. So if you are in this situation, you actually want to discount Deathwing Companions, even if we don't draw Hydraven Morse and we draw maybe the Cur, we still want to reduce Companions, because this means that Companions is coming down next turn. Instead, if we reduce Dreadwing, this is actually coming down this turn anyway, so if this later dies or is stunned, we can still count on having next turn the Deathwing, and also we have Drilling Sight in order to play Hydraven Morse on curve. So we discount Deathwing, we play Astrovel. I don't... yes, I dealt 3 to him. I think that this might have been a mistake, because in this situation the Thunderrock is particularly good, so he plays double frontline, and I think that this is another mistake, because this is going to be to buff my board, my hand even more. Now I play a 9-10 Deathwing Companions and I play a 7-7 Hydraven Morse. I place them right there because of Instrument, and actually I can Drilling Sight and this Raphael, and I do this also because Arrowing is coming and I need the hand to be clear. Now it Thunderrocks and kills my Astrovel. Now the situation is kind of dangerous because of Companions, and here I did another stupid mistake, because I didn't saw that he played this from hand, so I assumed that he created it, and of course you are not gonna place in your deck a secret order that isn't Gamma Order. Then I have nothing to play, so I pass the turn. He bounces back his Raphael, and this is a big mistake, because I can place it next to my Companions that actually take 2 less damage. So now I have Captain Historic, I place this there. It buffs still, but at least I can create some space between the 9 damage to my face. Also I play the Cur. One more thing between Deathwing Companions and my face, and also it's pretty nice if this can kill. Now we are at Arrowing turn, so I actually Protocol. Then I don't, with how much stats I have on the board, I really do not need anything else that deals damage, so I ditch the Duelist Triumph in order to take 2 less damage with the Drilling Sight. And now he used both his Thunderrocks and he used Score Also, harrowing has no effect right now, doesn't clear the board at all. And then instrument still can deal 9 to this, but these are untouched. And he surrenders. This was a pretty one-sided game because of the snowball from Israel, and this is why you need to have this card. I maybe this Lucretia game was also a loss. So 1, 2, 3 losses and 1 draw actually. This was another interesting matchup because it's a mirror match. It's actually versus a really good player, so we can Brother in Arms and actually search for Dreadwing because we want Astrovels in this matchup, and of course we draw the Cur. Now we are behind because he could play the Cur, but he plays supplies, so this can actually be really dangerous, so it's fine, but not that much. We can play the Cur. We do not play Hydraven Morse because it's too early for this, and the Cur is actually better in this kind of situation. And it plays a 4-5, so I decided to remove it with Duelist Triumph plus Hero Power. And this because it allows my the Cur to connect, and also I do not take 4 damage into the face, and it buffs the bikes. Now he plays Astrovel, I think. Yes, but I can remove it. I could have removed it if I still had my thing. So I now play Proctor, and I set it on destroyed enemy troop. I expect him to remove it, but it's fine. It would have been nice to have it for the Myonic Sabers, but Onyx Sabers can still be very dangerous, so that's fine. I draw Anthem down, so Seraphus Bike, Anthem down, it's a 7-7 and smack the Astrovel. It's the better tempo play, because we can deal 2 and another 2 to Astrovel, but it actually does remove it. And now we attack, because we want to reduce his health pool. We have double Hydraven Morse in order to sustain us. It takes 7 to the face, and this is pretty good for me. And he plays the Cur. So we play a 1 Onyx Saber and deal 3 to this and also kill it. In this moment he has to decide if he wants to remove the Onyx Saber or deal 2 to me and proc the Cur. So it's in both cases it's a win situation for me. And he protocols, so no problem. But since he protocols, now he doesn't have them for my other big stuff, and also this can't be ignored once they are put on the board, now that his purple card is gone. I set it on deal to the enemy warlord because I expect him to kill this with his face, but he doesn't, and plays the very buffed Ramiel, and plays the Hydraven Morse. Now, if you expect Onyx Sabers and already saw that I play 1, this could have actually meant that I had another one in the hand, and this is the case. So the Astrovel that could have been killed by Ramiel now procs my Sabers, and also I have another follow-up with the second Morse, and I can deal 2 plus 4 to him, and now If any of these remain on the board, he is pretty dead. And then let's go into one final game. Maybe the Scoria match was pretty interesting. Also, I do think that Scoria is a very good warlord. Ditch this end because it's awful. And now we have a pretty nice end. A bit heavy though. We can smack his face now. I was very scared of Scoria early game, but since it doesn't go for turn 1 supplies into something, I'm happy. But he goes for asteroids. Now though, since Mechanicum have no real ways of do fast damage on the board, I decide to remove this in order to make my Israfel and Astrovel actually a bit safer. It's a slow play, but it's okay. And right now I can play the Astrovel. And if he trade this, I don't care, because I have a shit ton of goodies in my hand. And I think he plays the purple card, yes. Okay, pretty smart play. Now though, I have only a 4-1 between his face, and now it's a 4-4, so this actually demands my purple card, I think. There it is. So purple card, and I think is Raphael was the play here, because still he has 2 damage on the board plus 2 from Scoria, and he needs to connect another 2 damage into this in order to kill it. He decides to ignore it, and this was a big mistake. But he bounces it with Melgator. I didn't remember that well this game. So we buff Raywing because we have Frey in hand, and actually having Boreal buffed is way better. We drop Speeder because we want to take out his troop and actually have something on the board. Now he plays the Doombringer. We can remove it though with Oathsworn plus Anthem down, or if we draw Dreadwing with Onyx Saber, we draw the Curve, so Onyx Saber it is. Also we could have removed it with Pelagor plus Boreal, and actually take the healthy Oathsworn without burning the Anthem down. And now he plays supply lines. But even if he plays an Hydra, this can kill it, so I'm not that worried. But he plays a Taunt and deals 2 to my board. And now we can smack this, and we can do the Oathsworn plus Boreal and buff the Boreal. It becomes a 6-6 and kills the Doombringer. And now we can start also attacking with our Warlord, because I have way more reach than him, and I'm fine taking 2 damage in order to reduce his health pool. Also because I can deal 7 just from him, so if I draw the 4 energy PL4, is actually dead with just 2 troops. So kill this, This can kill Last Owl for free. I digged for companions and played them, and now there is no way he can pull this out. So this was the deck and the replays. I do think that Corswain it's very strong and actually gained me 150 points in maybe 2 hours. So I think that it's very good. And also I played a bit of Serastus Gravewalker. I don't know if I still have in the battle logs. No, I don't have it. But with the Gravewalker I was like 10 win and 0 losses, so I do think that knights are making a bit of a comeback. People forgot of them, and I don't know why. I didn't play Gravewalker since I think 2 months, but maybe one if because I did the guide, but I actually did not enjoy that much their playstyle. I was thinking about doing a Caleb Decima video, and I had a 70% win rate, though I got a bit annoyed by jumping back and forth, because 70% win rate it's kind of even. You climb but really slowly, and I want to push for top 10 this month, so I ditched a bit Caleb, and maybe I will take him back later in the season, or at the start of the next season. 6 it's still a great deck to play. I do think that he is very strong, and actually you start seeing more and more of them. Then I wanted to also do a Calidus video, but it requires so much time explaining all the single choices that I have given up, at least for the moment. And I was trying to make a good Scoria deck. My last one actually got like 65% win rate, but it's too inconsistent to be good for iTerra, so I won't make a video on it, because I only make video on things that are actually make me climb, so that if people want to play them, they actually can see that it's a good deck, and not a random brew. This deck is interesting but lacks something, and I really can't make it work more than maybe 2 times out of 3, and then the last he completely whiffs and you have nothing to play, so feels bad. So this was the video. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.